We are Emilia Nene
and Silviana Carter,
the founders of Feel and Grow Rich project and the authors of the upcoming book called Feel and Grow Rich.
It is a great honor to introduce you to
Sir John Shin.
Sir John Shin is a serial entrepreneur, philanthropist, movie producer, author, motivational speaker, and business coach.
Welcome, Sir John Shin.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And thank you for accepting our invitation. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your background for our audience?
Of course. Well, let's see. My background, as you can see, right, I am of Asian descent. My mother and my father both came from Korea, South Korea, and they immigrated to the United States in the mid-1960s. So when, I asked my mom growing up as a kid, what was it like to live in Korea and why they left and came to America. This is what my mom said. She said that America is the land of the free. And if we go there, we come to this country, to the United States, to not screw up the opportunity, right? I mean, why come to another country to screw it up, right? So they were very strict. They said you had to go to college, you have to get a degree, become a doctor, become a lawyer. We were respectful, my sister and I, and we were obedient. And so we went to college. We did not say, don't tell me how to run my life or don't tell me what to do. We listened to what our parents told us to do, and that's what we did. So my sister became a doctor and I became a lawyer, and that's how it started. And then I met my wife in 1994 in law school, and we got together, and within 2 weeks, I knew, that she was the one. And I said, when you know, you know. And basically about 3 months later, I asked her to marry me, and I basically closed her. I said, would you like to marry me on August 13th or August 20th? What day works for you? And she
Amazing.
said, she said, well, I'm kind of busy on August 20. And I said, great, we'll get married on August 13th. And 4 months later, we were married. So it was like literally 7 months. And then we sat down before we're getting married and said, what kind of a life do we want to have? And so we sat down, and this is very similar to, us, around the world, we use navigation apps. Our cars have navigation in it, and we follow the GPS. And for me, what GPS is your guiding system, right? Knowing how to get somewhere. And so to me, GPS is an acronym, and the letter G stands for goals. In other words, what are your goals in life? The letter P stands for your plans. So how are you going to achieve your goals? And then the letter S stands for your schedule. When will you make time to take your plans to achieve your goals? And if people can finally write all that down, which is what my wife and I did, Napoleon Hill wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich, which has now sold over 200 million copies around the world. And when most people say the word rich, what does rich mean? Rich is, most people would equate that with money, finance, to be rich money-wise, monetarily. But Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich to be rich in all areas of your life. So in 1994, we bought the book, we started reading it. Arlene, and my wife, her name is Arlene. And we read it and we said, what do you mean? We asked each other, what does it mean to be rich in all areas of your life? And I break it down into the 5 different F's. F as in Frank. So the first F, and this is not in any particular order, I will say it, but people have to learn how to prioritize this. So the first F is faith. Okay. The second F is your family. Your third F is your finance. Your fourth F is your fitness. And the fifth one is fun. So what, you know, because, you know, a lot of people, they're so engulfed with making money that they don't know how to have fun. You know, I know of a very, very wealthy man and his wife. They're a very wealthy family, have lots of money, beautiful house. But I asked them, have you ever been to Romania? Never. Have you been to Germany? Never. Have you been to Europe? Never. Have you been to England? Never. Have you been to Asia? Never. And I said, well, why not? And they said, we're too busy trying to make money. In other words, the problem is they made all this money and they let the money control them, yes, rather than them controlling the money. And so people need to learn how to have fun and enjoy their life, you know, and know how to enjoy food and cultures and things like that. So that's why I say to have fun. And a lot of times people, they're so consumed with making money, they forget, they neglect their family, right? Or they neglect their health, and then they die when they're 35, but they had all the money, and then they never got to enjoy it. So this is why people need to learn how to focus and be rich in all those areas of their life. And that's exactly what my wife Arlene and I did. Is we had a deadline, and we basically said that we will make money until we're 45 years of age. In other words, we will be obsessed about making lots of money, as much as we can, okay, with a minimum number. And we said, we'll make, you know, $10 million a year, every year, by the time we're 45 years of age. And then as soon as we hit 45, we then shift our plans, our goals, right, and our plans to now philanthropy work, you know, and helping people around the world. Because we always wanted to help people. We just didn't know how to help people when we didn't have money, you know, because a lot of things that people need around the world, they need money to give them the things that they need, right? Education, tools, food, shelter, you know, water, you know, all that kind of stuff. We need money, but we also needed to take care of our family first. That's why we wrote everything down, and we had a deadline. And it's so important that you have a specific month, day, and a year that you will commit yourself to achieving those goals and by your following your plans. So that's why GPS is so important, so important.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
What inspired you to write the book?
So we read the book, Think and Grow Rich, the original one. And then we found out that there's a Think and Grow Rich Black choice. And then we found out there's a Think and Grow Rich Latino choice. And then there's a Think and Grow Rich for women. Wow. And then I thought, okay, well, who wrote Think and Grow Rich for Asians? So, you know, because most people, they think Asia, that when they say Think and Grow Rich for Asians, they think it's only, you know, for Chinese or Japanese, right? Or Korean. They don't realize that Asia has a very broad, you know, coverage, right? I mean, it encompasses a lot of different countries around the world. So I thought, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, an Asian choice? So I went into Amazon, I went into Google, I did a search and couldn't find it. And I said, could there be that no one wrote Think and Grow Rich, an Asian choice with the Napoleon Hill Foundation? Yes. So that's when I called them and I said, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, an Asian choice? And he says, John, we don't have Think and Grow Rich, an Asian choice. And I said, well, in that case, I said, can I be that author where I could write the book with you guys? And they said, Absolutely. 3 days later, the Napoleon Hill Foundation sent me a contract and I began writing the book. And then basically about 10 months later, I had the book finished. And then the Napoleon Hill Foundation helped get the book published. So.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Wow, excellent.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What are your top 3 priorities in life?
Top 3 priorities in life. Number 1 is obviously my family. Nothing is more important to me than my 4 kids. I have boy, girl, boy, girl. My wife and I together with our 4 kids. And so my family, and then my parents and my in-laws. I mean, and my sister and her family. That right there is everything to me. You know, I mean, I don't even know what I would do without my current family. So that's my number 1 priority. Number 2 priority would be to teach people about entrepreneurship. You know, that, you know, everyone should learn how to start a business and have a business of their own. Okay. Because if you choose to go work for somebody, to me, the person who controls your paychecks controls you. And so why would you let anybody control you? I mean, we live in a wonderful world where you can sell anything anywhere in the world, right? I mean, I know people that are overseas that have businesses here in the United States. Okay. And there's a way you can have a business here in the United States, right? And so people just need to know how to do that and get that done. You know, I know people who've come here on a student visa. They've come here on tourist visas. And next thing you know, they started a business here in America, but they live in Europe, right? And they came here on a visa, you know. There's so many different ways. And then there's some people who just have a lot of money. They live in other countries and they have what they call an EB-5 program. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of EB-5. But it's basically an opportunity, it's an immigration opportunity where you can come and get a green card using an EB-5 program and start a business here in the United States. And if you did that under the EB-5 program, you would get a green card in the United States.
No.
Awesome.
I mean, yeah, I mean, so there's no excuse. You know, people always say like, you know, everybody wants to make an excuse for everything of why they can't do something. I mean, you know, unless you live in North Korea, right, in a communist country, you can pretty much do whatever you want to do, right? Hey, Americans go to other countries and they start businesses over there, right? I mean, Americans have businesses in Spain and all over Europe and Germany and, you know, Scandinavia and you know, I mean, we're all so close and we're all so connected. I mean, yeah, you're, you know, on the other side of the world, but we're more connected than we know today.
Yes,
Excellent.
yes, excellent. What are the habits that led to your success?
Oh, by the way, that was only 2, right? So 1, I think, was my family.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
2 is
sorry.
two is entrepreneurship, and number 3 is educating people about money. So, see, I think that most people don't understand how money works. You know, they don't understand the power of, you know, the world and how it's all connected right now. You know, and now we've got cryptocurrency emerging all over the world. What is that? You know, what is cryptocurrency? What is blockchain? You know, what is a digital wallet? What are all these things? And how do stocks, you know, and you know, any kind of an event that happens around the world impacts stocks worldwide, right? I mean, as we're seeing right now. So this is why we need to educate people about money and how money works, okay? And then, you know, there's certain people who, like musicians and bands and people like that, they're in the United States, but then they go and do business in China. And then they make money from China. Well, how did they get the money out of China into another country? Right? We had people that were in Venezuela. They had a business in Venezuela. and then they do business in Venezuela, but they had to figure out when the government of Venezuela started changing, how did they get the money from Venezuela into another country, right? And so you got to understand international law as well when it comes to money and how to get that money moved around, you know? So those are the things that I'm really making a priority to educate people about things like that. And so, you know, right now that's part of my passion, you know, is teaching people about all that stuff.
Great.
Great. Sir John Shin, what are the habits that led to your success?
Ooh, habits. Okay, well, I have lots of habits, okay? But one of my habits is to read my plan every night and know exactly what I'm going to do tomorrow. So at the end of the day, I sit with my staff and I say, what did we finish today? You know, what was all the things that we finished? And what I call this, we call this debriefing.
Yes.
Because, you know, we got to make sure that we know what we're going to do tomorrow. You know, it's interesting. When I was in corporate America, they would do annual reviews. Okay, annual reviews. So you go work at a company, and then 1 year later, they do a review to see what you should change. And that was really interesting to me, because why would you wait a whole year to teach somebody or to tell them they're doing something wrong?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of weird? Like, I mean, listen, if you have a child and you know that your child is hanging out with bad people, you don't wait a whole year to say, you need to stop hanging around with those kids.
Yes.
Correct.
Right? You know, if your child is taking drugs, you don't wait a year to go, listen, we need to talk about your drug habits here, right? You're going to deal with it right away. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that's where I never understood about corporate America. Me personally, I want to fix something. As soon as I know something's wrong, my habit is to attack it right away.
Wow.
And so we will debrief at the end of the day. Okay, guys, what did we do? What did we do wrong? Okay, and how are we going to fix this tomorrow? And by the way, tomorrow we need to do this, and this. Are we ready? And everybody says, yeah, we're good, we're ready. And that's how I had a meeting every day with my staff, you know, and then after a while they got, like, we knew, they knew exactly what was going on. So we would debrief at the end of the week. Does that make sense, right? And then after a while, they start getting used to everything. We debriefed once a month, okay? But I was very much into having a pulse on everything. So I got a habit to know what was going on all the time. I didn't just go, oh, I'll just ignore it. It'll fix itself. You know what I mean? So that was that. So I had a habit of debriefing every day. I had a habit of doing something called EPR. Okay, so what is EPR? Well, we all know what CPR is, right? It's, you know, chest compressions and breathing into somebody's mouth when they stop breathing. They need to be resuscitated, right? CPR, okay?
Yes.
All right, well, you and I cannot go around giving everybody mouth to mouth and chest compressions, okay? We just can't do that. Some people may want to, but that's not how every day works. So, but every day right now, there are people all over the world that need healing. They need to be resuscitated.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, right? Most people have given up on all their dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because if you know, they said, you're going to be rich. I don't think so. You're so smart. I'm not. You know, most people have given up. And the reason why is because when they go to work, they only hear negative things at work.
Yes.
They turn on the TV, it's negative. They turn on the radio, it's negative. They go on the internet, it's negative. There's so much negativity that they allow this stuff to come into their mind. And that eventually where people will start to freak out and have anxiety, depression, stress, all that kind of stuff because they think that the whole world hates each other. But they don't. They only focus on the negative things, okay? And so this is the problems that most people have given up on all their dreams. So what I want to do is to EPR everyone. And what EPR is E stands for encourage.
Wow.
I want to encourage people every single day. The letter P stands for praise. I want to praise people every day. You know, I want to praise you guys for putting on this video, this, you know, I mean, here you guys are, it's midnight in Romania.
Yeah.
It's 2:30 my time. And you guys, most people at 12 o'clock, they'd be sleeping.
Yes.
Okay. You guys are doing a podcast, a virtual podcast, right? And why are you doing this? Because you want to help people, right? You want people to grow. You want people to be healthy and wealthy and whatever you can do, you know? And so it's incredible. What if everybody did what you guys are doing? Okay, so you need to be praised for what you guys are doing. And then the letter R stands for recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
People want recognition. Even when little kids, you know, they get so happy when they win a little trophy, you know, and people say, oh, kids don't know anything. Well, then why at 5 years of age, when they play baseball or soccer or whatever, they want to win the trophy? Because kids know what it means to win. Okay.
Yes, yes.
And then if people say winning isn't everything, then why do we even keep score? Okay. I mean, we keep score because it matters. Does that make sense? Right? If you win. And usually the people who say that winning isn't important, it's the ones that lost that say that. Okay. So the idea is every day I was in the habit of encouraging people, praising people, recognizing people every single day. You know, and it doesn't mean like anything from like, hey, Amelia, that's a nice blue shirt. I like that shirt. It looks really good on you. Does that make sense, right?
Yes,
It's like,
yes.
right? It's like, so Silviana, you have a beautiful necklace right there, pendant. That's beautiful. Who bought that for you? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because remember, when you woke up this morning, you had to think about what jewelry you wanted to wear, right? Emilian, when you woke up this morning, you put thought to what you were going to wear today.
Yes.
Right? You didn't just close your eyes and just go, I'm going to wear this shirt today. And you know what I mean? You didn't open up your jewelry box and say, this is what I'm going to wear today. You put thought into it. The makeup, the hair, the clothes, the belt, the shoes, the purse, the bracelets, everything was all thought out. That is why it's so important that we acknowledge people for things like that you praise them and recognize. So I got into the habit of EPRing everybody. Okay. And then there's a lot of things that I did habits wise, but another one here, just to tell you real quickly, is I learned to delegate.
Yes.
Okay. Listen, I'm not going to clean my pool. Okay. I'm not going to do the gardening. I'm not going to take out the trash. I'm not going to iron my clothes. Not because I'm so, arrogant. I don't do those kinds of things. No, it's because I knew that I can hire somebody and pay them 150 euros while I went and made 500 euros.
Yes.
Yes.
Does that make sense? I'd rather pay somebody 5 euros to do my dry cleaning than me ironing all that for an hour, right? So that I can go make 200 euros. You understand that? So I learned to delegate things and focus on what I'm good at doing and let everybody else do what they're good at doing.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Do you know that we tend to become those who we admire? Who do you admire the most?
My mom.
Wow.
My mom is everything to me, Now, if my dad was here right now, he'd be mad, He'd be like, wait, what about me, But I think for me, I don't know how women do what they do. For me, I think, you know, when I hear women say, you know, they go, oh, I'm 50 years old now and my kids are all older. They moved on. They moved out of the house. And they say, do you think I can start a business at age 50? And I'm like, what? I'm like, absolutely. And I'll say to them, and here's the problem is we as parents, mothers and fathers, we forget what we've done in our lifetime.
Yes.
So one time I was sitting there, I was talking to a woman and I was like, look at everything you've accomplished. And it's like, well, what have I accomplished? And she had no self-worth. And I said, well, did you graduate from high school? Yes. Oh, did you have a college degree? Yes. Do you know how to ride a bike? Yes. She goes, everybody knows how to ride a bike. And I said, no, not everybody. You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to ride a bike. I go, do you know how to swim? She goes, of course, everybody knows how to swim. I go, no, you'd be surprised how many people don't know how to swim. She's like, what? Like, how many kids do you have? She goes, 5. I'm like, 5. I mean, I go, stop right there. I mean, I said, the fact that you can carry another human being in your belly for 9 months and then give birth, right? I mean, I want you to think about that, right? I mean, I sat there when my wife gave birth 4 times and they put all the EKG monitors on there and I saw the thing when it went like this. I mean, she was having a contraction, okay? And she was in pain and agony. And guess what? For her to endure that and give birth to a child, and this lady I was talking to did it 5 times, I said, oh my gosh. Then you changed their diapers, you fed them, you raised them, you did school 6 times. She goes, how come? Why do you say that? And I said, well, you did it once, and then you had to do school 5 times with each of your kids because they had to come home and then, Mom, can you help me with my homework? Can you help me with math? Can you help me with this? And the mom was doing all the homework, right? Most of the time. And then you had to clean, you did the dishes, you had to go shopping, you had to open up the mail, you had to do the laundry, you had to fold the laundry, you had to bathe the kids. If you had pets on top of that, you had to deal with your pets. You had to do all that, and you had a full-time job. And you had to take care of your parents and your husband's parents. I said, if you could do all that, you can start a business.
Yes.
Does that make sense, right? There's nothing that you can't do. So when I look at my mom, she inspires me because that's what she did. She was the last one to go to sleep. She was the first one to wake up.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing.
So no one on this planet can inspire me more than my own mom.
Yes.
Wow.
Awesome. What keeps you awake at night?
Ooh. So what keeps me awake? I think my brain is going on and on and on about ideas. You know what I mean? Like, what's another business I can start? Does that make sense? What else? You know what I mean? And then sometimes I think about, like, you know, I'll go somewhere, you know, with my wife and myself, we'll go to a restaurant and it's packed in the restaurant. And she thinks about what she wants to order on the menu. And I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder how much money this restaurant makes. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, look at all the number of people. I start counting. I'm like, if each one spent 20 euros, how much money are they making? You know what I mean? My mind is always thinking, oh, maybe I should open up a restaurant in Romania. Does that make sense, right? You know? So I'm always like, ideas are going, you know? So I need to, like, learn to get, when it comes to like 1 o'clock in the morning, I just somehow turn it off. And that way I don't have to, I can let my brain rest a little bit. But I'm always thinking business ideas. What else? You know? And I'm always, and the reason why I'm thinking about so many different business ideas is because, you know how they always say things like, I don't know, it's like an American thing, but maybe they say it in Romania too, but they say you need to think outside the box. Have you heard that
Yes,
before?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But my question is this, is why even think that there is a box? You got to think like there's no box,
Oh, wow.
right?
Yes.
You got to think like, yeah, it's like, isn't it funny? Like we have to even think about we're in a box. Like we're not even in a box. You can think about doing anything you want to do. You want to become an Olympic gold medalist? Do it. You want to become a movie star? Do it. You want to become a model? Do it. You want to be a businessman or woman? Do it. You know, and so for me, I feel like anything is possible. It's just, well, I love doing it.
Mhm.
You know, because you have to love what you do and do what you love. Because if you don't love it, one little mistake or a hiccup, you know what you say? Oh, this is a sign from God. Well, you mean, what do you mean? It's a sign from God that you're not supposed to do the business? No, maybe God is teaching you a lesson right now. Not a sign from God for you to quit, but it's a lesson for you to be stronger, you know?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
Excellent.
What advice would you give to someone starting out?
Starting out as a new business, or I would tell them to watch Millian and Silviana's podcast show.
Thank you.
Because you guys always bring good people to your show, right?
Yeah.
But no, but really, I mean that. I think that people need to go and find a really good mentor. That
Yes.
is key, you know, and get good, constructive advice.
Yes.
And I say counsel, to get good, constructive counsel. See, I think that losers seek opinions. Winners seek counsel.
Yes.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Interesting.